Alrighty, it is the beginning of my work week. It's Wednesday, October 21st, 2015. So I did plug in last night. It's the only time I really plug in at home is once a week on Tuesday nights. So I'm starting it out on 100%, 92 mile range. Okay. So, on the way to daycare, so I reset all of my trip meters. So that is 4.5 miles I just drove to daycare. Alright, so I also reset the elapsed time and driving distance. And I reset my kilowatt per hour economy driving bar. So I got 5.8 miles per kilowatt hour on the way over here. Drove 4.5 miles. See, I only knocked 1 mile off of the indicator over here showing roughly how many miles I have left. I don't really like this number. I don't use it all that much because it's an estimate and it's ever changing. I like to stick with this one. This shows me a true range of my battery. I got 96% of my battery left. So you'll see I only used 1 mile of my estimated range to get down here, and I'll use much more getting home because it's uphill on the way home, it's downhill on the way here. My range is a little bit lower today because it is 48 degrees out. Pretty chilly here in the Duke City this week. So my range is always a little lower in the winter. In the summer, on Wednesdays when I would hit my 100% charge, it's the only time of the week I do 100% charge, is going into Wednesdays to start my week. I would show a range of 109, 112. In the winter, now that it's getting colder, I'll average 92, 94, 96. So we will drive back home now and see where we're at. Alrighty, so I just got back home. As you can see, it was 4.5 miles there, 4.5 miles back, 9 miles total. All my drives for this week will always be done in eco mode. See eco mode, come on, right there. And then I always drive in braking mode, in B mode. So all my numbers and my drives are done in those modes. So I drove 9 miles and I used 9%. So that's why I like to use this as, basically I use this number as how many miles I have left, 91. I tend to ignore this 83 over here because that is so, it's always adjusting based on how you're driving and whether you're going up and down hills and the temperature and all that jazz. So I basically tend to just ignore that number. But it was fairly accurate. It started at 92, it ended at 83, and I went 9 miles. So round trip, it was spot on. Average 26.1 miles an hour there, 18 minutes total in the car. And I averaged 4.8 miles per kilowatt hour. My goal for the week is 5.0. I always seem to end up at 4.9 though. So we'll see where I end this week as I shoot these videos, but I always shoot for that 5.0, but that last 0.1 always seems elusive to me. So, alright, that's it for now. I will not be plugging in at home. You can see here through my windshield, I have the standard 110 right there. I typically only plug in once a week at my house, which I did last night, so I can start my work week, which starts on a Wednesday at 100%. So I will not be plugging in, and these should be the numbers we see when I leave for work. Alright, so it is still Wednesday. It is now 59 degrees out at 5 o'clock in the evening. My numbers are the same, 9184. And we're going to take my trek to work. It is about 11 miles, 11 and a half miles. On the way to work, it's all downhill, so I use very little energy. And on the way home, it's all uphill 11 miles. It's somewhere between 4 and 6 in the morning, and I use quite a bit more energy to make that trek. So here we go, on the way to work. So this is post-work. You can see it's pretty cold out. Looks like we're a little frozen over. I don't know if that's ice. Nope, just wet condensation. So we're probably at around 40 degrees. And let's see where we're at. It is 41 degrees, 2:35 in the morning. And we are sitting at 80%, 78 miles. This one will eat some energy going home, for sure, because it's uphill and it's cold. So we'll see where we're at for the 11-mile trip home when we get there. So it did eat some juice coming home. We started at 78 on the estimated range down here. There it is, down there. 30 miles we used to go 11. We also used 22%. We were at 80% when we left work, and we were at 58% coming home. So all said and done today, we drove 31 miles, and we used 42% of the battery. I'd like to see this car get 42 miles using 42% of the battery, but again, it is much colder, 41 degrees here at 3 in the morning. So I'll take that. In the winter, the range on this car is honestly about 90 miles if you drive ideally per charge. In the summer, I can get 110, 115, even 120 driving ideally. So you do lose about 20% roughly of your range when you have the colder temperatures. But overall, driving in an area that has the colder temperatures actually has been proven to help save your batteries. So that's one positive. So that's it for tonight. I will not be plugging in tonight. So when I leave for work tomorrow, I should be at this same spot. Alrighty. Check tire pressure, I see. That is due to the cold weather. That typically goes away when it gets warmer. It is Thursday now, the second day of my week. We are at 58%. Showing a 48-mile range. I am on my way to work. It is 4:44 in the afternoon. 61 degrees, so a little warmer than yesterday, though. It's been raining all day. So we'll see. I plan on doing a quick charge after work tonight. A quick rainbow for all of you on my way to work. Very nice. Been raining a lot. Alrighty, so just pulled into work here at 5:04. 50 degrees out. It's been raining all day, but the sun shined here on the way to work, and I had a good economical trip here. I actually picked up 4 miles on my range. I started at 48, went to 52. And that's after driving 11 miles a time on my drive to work, because it's mostly downhill on a highway. Used 6% of the battery there. So far this week, I've driven 42 miles, 41.9 miles, and I've used 40 miles of my range and 48% of my battery. So we're pretty spot on here, pretty close. Let's take a look at some of the other numbers we haven't looked at. I've been in the car 40.5 miles, an hour and 22 minutes. I have a 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour average. Now that is below my average. My average is 4.9. It's been cold though, so that explains the half a kilowatt hour drop there to 4.5, and then back to 52%. Okay, that's it. Alrighty. Work is over. It's another chilly morning. 42 degrees. It's 47 in the morning. We got 52% and 52 miles, and we are gonna go do a quick charge. Typically, during the summer, I would work 3 shifts in a row before I went and did a quick charge. So I would go home tonight and then back again tomorrow, and then go quick charge after work tomorrow. But with this cold weather, I'm not positive I would make it. I probably would, but one of the things you learn when you drive a vehicle like this is there's no point in risking it if you don't need to. So I'm going to go ahead and drive down to the nearest quick charger in my town and do a quick charge. That's where we're headed now. Alrighty, so here we are, pulling into the quick charger. Powered by P&M Electric, the premier electric company here in Albuquerque. It's got a sign up here, says electric vehicles only, fast charger, 30-minute limit. So I had to enter my access code on my phone, and then this door opened up, and I have the 500-volt charger here in my hand. That will go. Plug right on in. This little dude will fire up. It'll show my battery, 38%, charging time, remaining time and how many kilowatt hours I've used. Alright, so it's 3:11, 39 degrees, 3:11 in the morning. And we are at 40%. So I'll probably charge for about a half hour here, and it'll probably come up to about 85 to 90% in that 30 minutes. And we should have a range of about 90 miles or so at that time. Now, commonly across the country, I've done some research, these quick charging machines are 14 cents per kilowatt hour. That's the average cost. This will be about a 14 to 15 kilowatt charge, which is somewhere in like the $2.50 range, $2.80 range for the charge. Now, these are fairly new to Albuquerque. There are 5 of them in the town, and right now they're free. So I've been using these for about 3 months since they've came in. I quick charge twice a week on average, and I haven't paid a dime for it. I do plug in on Tuesday nights when I get home after a quick charge, just so I can start my week at 100%. So I've been plugging it at home for an average of 6 hours per week, 4 to 6 hours per week on the standard 110 that comes with the Leaf. And that is the only energy that I am paying for. So at the end of this, I'll do a cost analysis of the kilowatt hours I used and what the cost equivalent would be for a gasoline-powered vehicle at current gasoline prices. Alrighty, so it is 3:43, so I think that was like 32 minutes, and we came up to 88% with a range of 85 in a half hour, which is pretty good. For those of you who aren't familiar with EVs, plugging it at home on a 110, like the only other charger I own, this would have taken 12 hours or so, maybe 13 hours to get to this point. So to be able to do that in a half hour is really, really nice. My battery temperature over here on the left, it started at 4 bars and it went to 5 because batteries do heat up pretty good during a quick charge. There's a lot of articles out there about it not being good for the EVs to exclusively quick charge, at least not every day or twice a day like a lot of people do. I've done my research on it. I'm comfortable doing this twice a week, which is about what I do. Roughly 100 charges a year, quick charges a year. I'm 12,400 miles in on this car. I still have all 12 of my bars. You can see over here, I have 11 full right now, but I still have the 12th one available. Eventually you will lose those. We'll see when it happens with mine. I've had my Leaf 53 weeks now, 1 year and 1 week. So we'll see when I start losing bars, but so far I've got them all. I've only been quick charging for about 3 months now, I think. Yeah, 3 months I've been quick charging. Before that, I exclusively charged on the 110 at home. So we are going to be done. Come out here to the screen. We used 11.3 kilowatts, 34 minutes of charging time. Go ahead and shut it off and hit finish. And that is it. We are ready to start her up and drive home. Now, I'm not going to reset my trip meter because I want to see how many miles I drive for the entire week, but I will note how many kilowatt hours were used, and we'll do a complete energy analysis at the end of the week. So that is it. We are heading home. Okay, so we made it home. Again, once again, it's uphill all the way home there. From where I charge, it's an uphill ride home, and it's cold. It's 39 degrees. So we went 10.5 miles, and we used 22 miles off of our estimated range. And our miles per kilowatt hour is 4.2. When I decided to do this video a few weeks ago, it was much warmer here where I live. It's typically into the 60s and 70s in October. So I decided to do this to start it on my work week on a Wednesday, and it's been in the 30s at night. So my energy is much lower than normal. 4.2, I've been averaging 4.9 or 5 miles per kilowatt hour. But that's okay. I'm going to go through with the entire week and see where I stand. Battery is 73%. Coming home, and we're going to try to go the next 2 days to work before we quick charge again, and then I'm done with the work week. And my 3 days off, I just kind of fart around on the 70 or so percent, and then I do a plug-in at home before I start again. So we'll see where we're at after work tomorrow. Yeah, it is Friday, day 3 in the week of driving an electric vehicle, an EV. We are at 73% after our quick charge last night, 62 miles on the range. It is a nice day out, 64 degrees at 4:18 in the afternoon. We should get pretty good energy usage on the way to work here, being all downhill. Hopefully we can pick up some miles on that 62 and only use about 5% going 11 miles. Got to work, gained 1 mile of range, 62 up to 63. 61% on the battery. We have now driven 76 miles for the work week with 1 quick charge in between there. And that is all for now. We'll see you after work. Well, that was a long shift at work. It is 4 in the morning. It's 52 degrees out. A little warmer than it has been the last couple nights. 61%, 62 mile range. We've driven 76 miles in the week, and we are heading home now. 40 miles left on the range, again using quite a bit of energy. I did drop 3 degrees on the way home, 48. Uses a lot more energy coming home, all uphill on that highway. 48% on my battery left. Been in the car for 87 miles, 3 hours and 21 minutes for the week. And we have used 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour. That's not a very good number. Like I said, I've been averaging 4.9 throughout the summer. This is the first kind of cold week, so it's nice to see the comparison. It looks like I'm going to finish the week around 4.3 or 4.4. Again, you'd like to see it around 5, and you get there in the warmer months. So it's nice to see it in the winter, kind of see what we're doing. So I got 1 more day of work left on Saturday, tomorrow, and we'll go to work again tomorrow night, and then I'll go do a quick charge after that. All right, it's Saturday, which is my Friday. At work, 48%, 40 miles. 67 degrees today, much nicer today than it was at the beginning of the work week for me. So the plan is to get to work tonight, and then we'll cruise in and do a quick charge after. 7 miles later at work, 39 miles left on the range, 38% on the battery. So I only lost 1 mile of range there on that 11 mile trip, again downhill. We are at 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. It's come up just a little bit. Still not as good as my average due to the colder weather this week. So after work tonight, we'll swing down to another quick charge, and then we are done with the work week. Good morning, everyone. Good mood for me. My work week is done. It is 3:15. It's 42 degrees, pretty chilly out. And 39 mile range, 38% battery. And we are going to head down to the quick charger and get a charge. We have just started our quick charge at 3:41, 22%, 22 miles. We will charge for about 30-35 minutes and head home. And we are still plugged in, but I'm about to disconnect. 88% got up to 89%, just clicked up. 93 mile range, 4:18, so we were plugged in for 37 minutes. 39 degrees out, getting really cold, right around freezing. I did pick up 1 bar of battery temperature, 5, which is just fine. You're in no danger unless you get up into the red there. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect and see how many kilowatt hours we used. It looks like we got 14.8 kilowatt hours. 395 volts running through now. It does slow down as you approach 80%. So the voltage comes down at that point. Put it Get back in and close the door. And we are off and running. And we will head back home on the uphill journey in the cold. Okay, so I just got home. 121 miles for the week thus far. 74% of the battery, 66-mile range. I did get a full tree. See that little tree down there? That is something you earn as you drive economically. I'm going to do more on that in a different video on tips on driving economically. For the week, now I'm done with work now for the week, so 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour. That's not very good. I'm not very happy with that number, but again, it's cold. It's 40 degrees. It's been a pretty cold week overall, so I guess if I can get over 4, I'm happy, but all summer I got right at 5, so just preparing for winter now. Got to get that in my head. I'm not going to get that 5 anymore. Now, typically, as I've said before, I normally don't plug in at home, only once a week on Tuesdays. But tonight while I was at work, I found out that tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to go to the airport and pick up a friend. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in tonight and take it up to 100. So this chart here will show me how many hours it takes for me to charge on the 240, the 6 kilowatt, and the 243 kilowatt. I do not have a 240. I did not purchase it, did not install it. So I am the 120 there at the bottom. It says 7 hours, so it'll be roughly a 7-hour charge to take me up to 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in at home and take it to 100% for tomorrow because I have to run out to the airport and pick up a friend. All right, Sunday. So I plugged in last night. I just unplugged it. It charged for about 6 hours and took me to 100%. 93-mile range. 121 miles on the week still, and we are going to go up to the airport and back. This is I don't even know how many miles it is. Probably 40 miles round trip, maybe more. We'll see. I'm at 121 here when I'm starting. It's also mostly interstate miles, which I rarely drive in the Leaf. I do drive highway miles on the way to work, but rarely. I do everything I can to keep it off the interstate. So we will see how many miles I actually drive and what kind of economical drive I have here going to the airport and back. So I'm at the airport waiting for my friend's plane to arrive, and it looks like it was 20.1 miles on the way up here, and most of those are interstate miles. About 15 of those are interstate miles. So really not too bad. On the 28% of the battery, and my range dropped 22%. We'll see what it is round trip by the time I take him home and then get home. But not too bad for interstate travel. You certainly burn more energy on interstate because you have much higher acceleration. For extended periods of time, you use a lot more energy. I got 1.5 trees on that trip. So we'll see how that ends as well when I get home. Okay, well that was a trip, folks. That was a lot further than I thought it would be, but I'm kind of glad this happened because it shows the unexpected things that happen when you own a car and when you own an electric car, how that changes your thought process. So this was just a simple helping out a friend, picking up her husband at the airport, and I didn't know where they lived, and it was a lot further than I thought. And that's probably something I should have checked before I did this, and I didn't, assuming they lived in town. I made it. We're good. I drove 70 miles, 70.5 miles. I used 78% of my battery. So that's actually pretty spot on. Pretty good there, considering about 50 of these miles were on the interstate. I think my range started at 92. And went down to 19. So again, that's pretty close to being spot on with me driving 70.5 miles. Within a few miles of being right on. So only being at 22% now. Believe it or not, I'm not going to plug in at home tonight. I'm going to do the rare third quick charge tomorrow. It'll be only the second time I've done a third quick charge in a week. And this should be plenty to get me down to my quick charger station, which is about 10 miles away, but it's all downhill coming from home, so I should have no problem. making it. So we'll go do that tomorrow. It's Monday, an off day for me. I got to go run some errands. I got a library and grocery store, etc. Let's run some basic errands. Because of my airport trip last night, I'm down to 22% and 19 miles. So first place I'm going is quick charge station. All right, we are down here at the quick charger. 17%, 20 mile range. See, it's blinking there because it's my battery warning light. It starts blinking at you and a lady comes on and talks to you to tell you to go charge your battery. It also appears here on your GPS right over there, low battery. If you click the show button there, it'll direct you to the nearest charging station, which you can see on the GPS screen I am sitting right in front of. So we are going to do a quick charge and then probably just head home. The quick charge is done, up to 87% and 90 degrees. It's 64 or 90 miles, 64 degrees. Very nice today. So that's about it. We're gonna head home, and that might be the last driving I do for the week. We'll see. All right, it is Tuesday night, and I am done for the week. So I'm gonna plug her in tonight, get ready for tomorrow, which is where I started this a week ago. Ended up with 229.4 miles for the week, and didn't use it the last day and a half. So we'll look at a cost analysis now.